Wales.
Fundraising kit.
Yes, brilliant.
Come on board, sir. Come on board.
Exciting, isn't it?
Who's got first idea?
We could do a cake sale.
Oh, cake bake.
How much can we sell them for?
£1 a cake.
Can you hear that? It's the sound of a sponsored silence. Yeah?
Then I've got an idea.
Oh, hello.
You could have your eyebrows shaved off. And obviously get people to sponsor it.
I'll do it. I'll do it. £5.
All right, let's go for it, yeah.
£5 towards 500.
Because 500 quid can give heroic young carers like these a break from their huge responsibilities at home.
Get ready for Red Nose Day on Friday the 18th of March on BBC One. Call 0345 605 8000 for your free fundraising kit.
This is the farmyard. Judging by the smell, I'm in the right place.
Farmer Rod is working the land, but not half as hard as the land is working him.
Come on! I've got absolutely no idea what I'm doing. Oh, no, don't do that! Ow! I'm supposed to be the farmer. I'm supposed to be in control of this situation.
The new series of Rod Gilbert's work experience
This feels so wrong.
starts Monday night, 10:35 on BBC One Wales.
Martha accepts a case against her better judgment as new drama Silk continues at 10:35 here on BBC One Wales. But back to right now, and for one night only, Max is back in Treorchy.
Amazing. I was only a kid then in my early 20s, and as a rugby player, it was something superb.
Probably the best advert Wales could have for rugby at that time.
We had a great victory in the October of that 72. We beat the All Blacks 9-3, and Max, put it into his song, and it's been a legend internationally ever since, and one of my favourite songs.
Max Boyce is a name that kind of is always in our household, so he's a household name, and we also share the same hair, as you can see.
Whenever you think of Max Boyce, you think of Max Boyce, you think of Wales, you think of his singing as well, you think of all the rugby matches, and the way in which he orchestrates things and gets things going is absolutely incredible.
Well, he's a legend, isn't he? That's all I can say about it, really. The songs are brilliant. He epitomises Wales.
So I always loved Morgan the Moon, the ballad of Morgan the Moon. Morgan the mechanic, I remember him well. He once built a rocket, so they will tell. Fantastic.
Everybody remembers hymns and arias and people like that. But one of my favourites was, and always has been, Do His Hard.
He's filled the Palladium, he's been at Sydney Opera House, but to come back home to Wales, where it first started, it must be a great feeling for him. And the people I've seen here this evening, they've come along to pay tribute as well, and this says a lot for Max Boyce. He's almost as famous as the rugby players in Wales, and his beloved Glenneath. So it's great for me back here tonight, and I just hope he has a great night.
Once again, he's live at Treorchy. Please welcome on stage the legend that is Max Boyce.
Wapen yn y stryd yn crio Ar gath wedi strop o Johnny Bach Sosban bach yn berwi ar y ton Sosban fawr yn berwi ar y ton Ar y gath wedi sgrapo much has changed since I was in Treorchy last. These houses weren't here for the start. But you know, I can remember as if it was yesterday, the first time I ever came to Treorchy. The first time I came to Rhondda, it was to open an old people's home. And I said, they won't know me in the Rhondda. They said, they will. And I went in, and this old lady came out in a Zimmer. I said, excuse me, back. I said, you know who I am? No, she said, but if you ask the matron, she'll tell you. And when you get older, the first thing that goes is your memory. And my pal Ron next to me said, I'm the same, Max. He said, do you know I've gone? He said, I can't remember anything. I can't remember when my car keys are with my phone. He said, I can't remember where I went on holidays last year. Ron back. No, he said, I can't remember. He said, what's the name of that leafy stuff that grows around the chimneys of old manor houses? I said, ivy. That's what he said. Ivy, where did we go on holidays last year? And talking about last year, hasn't the year gone like that? It's gone like that. And you know, time, when you get older, time is the most precious thing known to us. Time goes like that. Do you know, you good folk of Treorchy? Do you know it's nearly 8 years have passed since the English rugby team won the World Cup in Australia? I was really pleased for them. I am not one of these narrow-minded, one-eyed Westphalians. I was pleased for them. I was really pleased for them. Do you remember the homecoming? Who can forget the homecoming? Those two open-top buses down the Strand, going down Oxford Street, going down Ranger Street. Sir Clive Woodard holding the holy grail of rugby above his head. 500,000 people, 500,000 people there to welcome the returning heroes. Bank managers, solicitors and lawyers were leaving their offices, leaving their laptops behind, coming out in their red braces, their faces daubed with the red and white cross of St. George, singing Jerusalem and Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. When I saw that, I thought to myself, how childish. If Wales won the World Cup, we wouldn't do anything like that. 2 open-top buses. We'd have 200 open-top buses. On those buses that weren't open, we'd have welders working 3 shifts to burn the top of any bus that wasn't open. But can you imagine? Can you imagine if Wales won the World Cup? And can you imagine if James Hook dropped a goal in the dying seconds to win it for Wales? Can you imagine? Can you imagine? They'd make a 60-foot grog of him. His mother's home help would get the OBE. And the osprey would become a protected species. But can you imagine if Wales won the World Cup? There'd be a free 365-page colour supplement in the Western Mail. Children would have a year off school. And the Pope would visit Combe Park. But can you imagine if Shea Williams going to try the dying sex and win for Wales? He'd be met off the plane at Heathrow and driven home down the M4 on the back of a golf buggy. With J.P.R. Williams riding shotgun. But I don't think we'll ever win the World Cup. We never play well. The last time out in France, we lost to Fiji. And England nearly won it again. They played really well. They nearly won it again. And they came home on a special plane, a special Boeing 747 called Sweet Chariot. Wales came back on a plane called Nevermind. And it all started to unravel when we decided to have a friendly against England at Twickenham as a warm-up. How can you have a friendly against England? And we lost 62-5. And it's not, you know, it's not the losing to England I hate. What I hate is the time still left in a game in which you know you're going to lose to England. You sat there, there's nothing you can do about it, and that time is endless. Play is going on, but time isn't passing. I just want to leave the ground and join some silent order. And sell perfume on Coldy Island. And never be seen or spoken of ever again, but you can't, you're going to stay there. And over the time now came this announcement, attention please, attention please, would Mr. L.A. Morgan of 23 Tyrrell Terrace, Astrevesta, go immediately to ground entrance 2, where his father suffered a severe cardiac arrest. And this broken friend got a ashen face and started to walk out. And the bloke next to me said to me, there are some people get all the luck, don't they? And to think of the day, I nearly didn't go. I didn't have a ticket, but lucky, last minute, my uncle died. The trouble was, the funeral was arranged the same time as the game. I couldn't go to both. I didn't have a ticket for the funeral. So I went to the match. So I thought, the least I could do now, when I come back, I'd ask how the funeral went. So when we come back on the Thursday, I said, should Arthur have gone without it? Oh, Max, he said, Shara, don't talk. He said, I haven't been able to sleep since, he said. Nobody has. What happened? He said, what happened? They put Billy Williams in charge of the funeral arrangements. He said, he haven't done anything like that before. He said, he's only on a YTS scheme. I said, what happened? He said, what happened? Well, you're supposed to at least show compassion. He said, this poor man had come to pay his last respects. He wasn't fit to be out. He hadn't been out for months, probably, but he came, there. He came to pay his last respects. His skin was like parchment paper. His eyes were sunk in his head, his coat just hung at him, and he stood over the open grave in this biting northeasterly wind. And Billy said, hey, but, he said, how old are you? I'm 107. And Billy said, it's hardly with who going home, is it? He said. And worse was to follow. I said, what do you mean worse? You know, he said, your uncle was cremated. I said, aye. He said, I can't believe he did it. He said, they were taking the ashes in the hearse, he said. They were taking the ashes and hearse slowly up the Pentilla Mountain, up to the Aldi Chapel at the top of the mountain. They were taking the ashes slowly up in the hearse, he said. And if you remember that weekend, there was lots of black ice on the road, and the back wheels of the hearse were skidding. And Billy Williams, he used the ashes. I said, where is he now? He says, he's on a roundabout in Abergavenny. On the album, I recorded some songs, one is about going to Scotland, the Scottish trip, and we also sang, I've also written about going to Twickenham and to France. But a trip in recent times has been so popular, the trip to Rome to play Italy. And gosh, I was there, 2 years ago, and I went to Pompeii, you know.
to visit the little village of Pompeii where all the, they're destroyed by the earthquake and the volcano in 79 AD. And I was walking around and I met up these two boys from Blaenau Festiniog in North Wales, Dylan and Siriol. And we're chatting in Welsh, right? And Blaenau Festiniog is a little village tucked away at the foot of the old Dinoric, the now disused Dinoric slate quarries in North Wales. And we just chatting, we just chatting in Welsh. And this American tourist came over with a guidebook and he said, where you guys from? That's a neat accent. Where you guys from? And Dylan said, Blaenau Festiniog there. And the American said, what state is that? And he said, same state as Pompeii there. Anyway, this is... No, it's a lovely village. Some of my best friends are there. This is a little song. You wouldn't know this song because it's not on the Live at Treorchy album because I only wrote it last year. Anyway, it's got a little chorus, right? And and the words are, and it's about the Italy trip. And we'll all come to hear the story, singing Carolan and Llawn Oh, it's good to see the glory that was Rome. Okay? We'll try to get it right. Okay. Yes, we'll all come to hear the story, singing. Oh, it's good to see the glory that was Rome. Okay, you got it. This is the trip to Rome. Well, Rome still looks the same. Well, Rome still looks the same as I step down from the plane, and there to meet me was the Pope, the Holy Papa. And he told the boys he was glad to see them. He took them on a tour of the Colosseum. Oh, it's good to see the glory that was Rome. Yes, we'll all come to hear the story, singing. Oh, it's good to see the glory that was Rome. When we reached St. Peter's Square, there were thousands gathered there, and we waited for the Holy Father's blessing. And he prayed there for the simple reason they hadn't won a game all season. Oh, it's good to see the glory that was Rome. Yes, we'll all come to hear the story, singing Carolan and Llawn. Oh, it's good to see the glory that was Rome. And I bought some souvenirs, some coins and Roman spears, and a paint-by-number Sistine Chapel ceiling. And I bought myself cold Italian beers and a bottle of the Virgin Mary's tears. It's good to see the glory that was Rome. Yes, we'll all come to hear the story, singing Oh, it's good to see the glory that was Rome. Near Flaminio's little ground, an Irish bar we found, and I worried with the bar bill slowly mounting, till I saw the boys there slowly counting all the coins they'd nicked from the Trevi fountain. Oh, it's good to see the glory that was Rome. Yes, we'll all come to hear the story sing. Oh, it's good to see the glory that was Rome. Our flight back's home delayed. The Pope was so dismayed. He was on our flight and he looked so disappointed. He said we could be here till Monday and they want me on Scrum 5 on Sunday. Oh, it's good to see the glory that was Rome. And we'll all love to hear the story singing along. Oh, it's good to see the glory that was Rome. Sang that well. Can I introduce you now to a great writer and a great musician and a great friend and a great poet. He wrote the amazing, successful High Hopes and Satellite City. So please give a big, big warm welcome to Boyd Clark.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here this evening. I've known Max for some time, and I've admired his work for even longer than that, and it's quite a privilege to be asked to read some of his poetic lyrics here this evening. The first one I'm going to read was a song from his seminal album Live at Treorchy. 9-3. 'Twas on a dark and dismal day, in a week that had seen rain, when all roads led to Stradey Park, with the All Blacks here again. They poured down from the valleys, they came from far and wide. There were 20,000 in the ground, and me and Di outside. The shops were closed like Sunday, and the streets were silent still, and those who chose to stay away were either dead or ill. But those who went to Stradey Park would remember till they die how New Zealand were defeated and how the pubs ran dry. Aye, the beer flowed at Stradey, piped down from Vellinvole, and the hands that held the glasses high were strong from steel and coal. The air was filled with singing, and I heard a grown man cry. Not because we won, but because the pubs ran dry. Then dawned the morning after on empty factories, for we were still at Stradey, bloodshot absentees. But we all had doctor's papers, and they all said just the same, that we all had scarlet fever, and we caught it at the game. Now all the little babies in Llanelli from now on will be christened Roy or Carwyn, Derek, Delny, Phil or John. And in 100 years again, they'll sing a song for me when the scoreboard read, Llanelli 9, Stella Newydd 3. And when I am old and my hair turns grey and they put me in a chair, I'll tell my great-grandchildren that their Tad Key was there. And they'll ask to hear the story of that damp October day when I went down to Stradey to see the Scarlets play. Thank you.
talking about World Cups, you know. God, the World Cup I enjoyed. 95 in South Africa at Ellis Park. God, when South Africa and New Zealand in the final. And for me, a humble valley boy like yourself, to meet President Mandela, the greatest man I've ever met, right? And God, for me to meet, the privilege of meeting that man, right? And seeing him at the end of the game, to see him at the end of the game holding the World Cup above his head, and all the rainbow-coloured people, all of them singing, Koze shikeleli Afrika, Koze shikeleli Afrika. I bloody cried, boys. I got so emotional. I cried like a rain because I'd back New Zealand at 11-2. But it was a triumph. Those who went, it is a triumph. They wanted it to work. The rainbow-coloured people wanted it to work for their president. It was such a triumph for them. For Wales, it was a disaster. If you remember, we lost to Ireland in the first round. And people were asking me, was it disappointing we lost to Ireland? I said, I didn't mind losing to Ireland. I said, at least I knew what it was. 20 years ago, we were losing to places and people I'd never heard of. We lost one game to a passer-by. And she hadn't been playing rugby very long. And before we went, right, we had all these inoculations for cholera and typhoid and yellow fever. And we said, we'll follow the side for as long as we're in the competition. We went out to the Monday, we were back on the Friday. I still had 3 boxes of malaria tablets. And they tell you, once you start the course, you've got to finish it. It was so embarrassing. I was in the Brecon Beacons in a howling blizzard, up here in snow, taking malaria tablets. And the World Cup before that, we lost to Western Samoa. Nobody knew what that was. And we lost them in Cardiff, and we beat them in Western Samoa on this sun-baked ground fringed by palm trees. I remember, I rang home, my mother answered the phone, hello, Bashiriti. Okay, ma'am, where are you? I said, I'm in Western Samoa, ma'am. She said, what's it like there? I said, ma'am, it's 130 in the shade. Oh, she said, stay out of the shade, whatever you do, she said. And now I want to introduce you to a hugely talented young lad, and such a lovely boy as well. You've probably seen him on Britain's Got Talent and even sang at Michael Jackson's funeral. A big warm welcome to Shaheen Jaffagoli.
Beside the sea, red roses growing. Beside the sea, white lilies showing. Beside the sea, her beauty telling. My true love sleeps within her dwelling. Beside the sea, the stones lie scattered, where tender words of love were uttered, while all around there grew the lily and sweet branches